Alright, you heathens. Get ready for the greatest idea ever. Any questions? Yeah. It's all coming together. Hey, I just wanted to say something before this video starts. I uploaded a video
yesterday
as well about Crash Bandicoot. And, I mean, maybe you didn't watch it because it's not Sonic, but maybe you could watch it because it's pretty good, I hope. Or maybe you could watch it and tell me it was bad. I mean, all feedback is accepted. Anyway, thank you. Hello everybody, I am Garrulous64, and welcome to Sonic Rush 4. That's right, I said it! What are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna be real with you guys. Dimps gets a lot of hate for their work on Sonic, and I'm not sure why. They have a catalog of really strong titles that each might have little things that I can't get behind, but overall, I don't think anyone can say with a straight face, with a lineup like this, that Dimps shouldn't be working on Sonic. Hell, they even made the best version of Sonic Unleashed. I expect nothing but angry comments on this video after that, but I can take it. Bring it on. I mean, they make a duo of underwhelming games, and suddenly that's what people remember them for? I guess Sonic fans operate on a what have you done for me lately as opposed to what have you done for me as a whole type deal. But I'm sure we also totally understand one or two things souring the reputation of an entire thing. You know, the Dark Ages were a thing. Regardless of how against Dimps people are these days, Sonic Generations 3DS is actually a better game, in my opinion, than the console version in some areas. Not the entire thing. Definitely not the entire thing. But please, let me explain that before I make any more ludicrous statements and, you know, you start coming to my house with like an angry mob or something. The biggest 2D elephant in the room is obviously the gameplay. There is no 3D modern Sonic here, it is an entirely 2D adventure just with a classic and modern twist. Or should I say a rush twist, because aside from the trick system, which is still gone, big RIP in the chat for the trick system please, basically everything from the previous Rush games is back. That's cool, I'm happy. Though one thing I don't like about this is that neither of the characters have a complete move set from the get-go. Both of the Sonics learn a new move throughout the course of the story, and let me tell you, this game is not very long, so some of the earlier stages end up feeling a little bit less enjoyable than they might have been otherwise if you just had the move set from the beginning. Modern Sonic learns the Stomp, which he could definitely already do, and Classic Sonic is taught the homing attack. My theory on this is that Sonic is trying to Marty McFly himself out of existence so he doesn't get burned by any new games in the future, but look around the corner, there's Lost World, here it comes, oh my gosh! Classic's homing attack in the console version is a bonus for collecting all the red rings, but here it just sorta becomes a part of the level design. It also feels slightly different than modern Sonic's homing attack, but it's fine. Like, I mean, I don't think it was really necessary, but it also wasn't necessary for Dimps to nail the feel of the classic Sonic gameplay more than Sonic Team did on the console version. But wouldn't you know it, they went and did it anyway. Thank you, Dimps. For real, this classic Sonic is much closer to how he should feel. Do you guys remember the story in Sonic Generations?
Is it me, or is that place we were just in awfully familiar?
That pink water makes me really nervous for some reason. We're traveling through time and space!
If you answered what story, you are exactly correct. That's the point I'm trying to make. The 3DS version does try to add a little bit more spice on top of things, sort of like Colors DS did, but it doesn't do a ton. But you know what? Even a little bit more is nicer than the bland, mild chicken wing that is the console port. My main complaint with both versions of this game is that they had a gold mine of opportunity with a time travel plot, yet they really didn't do anything unique with it. Sure, they had the levels and the bosses, but this was the moment that they could have returned to so many key places in the series and had like some weird meta commentary on what they were doing before as opposed to what they're doing now. It's sort of like how they wasted the opportunity again in Forces and Mania because they could have done literally anything and the explanation was easy as because Phantom Ruby. Seriously, I would love to talk to the writers of these games because like unless they're under some really strict guidelines, like why aren't we getting fun things? Instead, we get like 2 cutscenes from inside actual levels where they either show Eggman getting kidnapped or make a one-off joke about Tails drowning or whatever, who cares, and then everything else just happens in white space. Boring. Very, very boring. The 3DS version, like I said, has a bit more spice, even if it's just fleeting moments. The characters actually acknowledge the locations they're traveling through at first, but it kind of stops towards the middle. But even so, it's still more thought out than what we have in the other version. Look, they even talk directly about the Bio-Lizard after they beat him up, and it's like, what more could you want? Oh, a real story? Yeah, okay, well, I mean, I got you covered whenever I decide to upload another part of that. Other than that stuff I already mentioned, consider the ball dropped, because they then go to hit like the exact same beats as the console one, and then you know, they're even missing some of that, so whatever. Sonic's friends also seem to be entirely absent from this version, so that leads me to believe they all perished in the destruction of Eggman's Interstellar Amusement Park. Rest in pieces, Charmy. You know, between this and the 8-bit games, I feel like a bit of a broken record when I say, this game begins with a Green Hill level. In fact, it is the Green Hill. As soon as you start a new game, Classic does his thing, gets intercepted by the time meter, proceeds to eat all the time, sending Classic to white space. Meanwhile, Modern Sonic arrives to his party way earlier, before the duo is kidnapped by the time meter and dropped into the opposite of Sonic colors. Modern Green Hill then goes by in an instant, but it's here where you notice that this switches things up from the console version immensely. None of the level design, gimmicks, or set pieces are copied over from the console version, even though it's the same location. It really makes this feel like a nice, fresh experience, even though it's Green Hill for the 100 millionth time. Instead of Chemical Plant showing up next, we are introduced to this game's other strong suit. Every single level aside from Green Hill has been changed. There's even one special location that I can't wait to talk about later, but talk about going above and beyond. They could have easily just done the exact same stages with new layouts, but nah, we're striving for Game of the Year every year over here. Casino Night is easily more of a favorite of mine than Chemical Plant. In fact, I don't really like that place, it makes me anxious. Classic Sonic stages in the classic era are actually pretty close recreations of the original stages, while modern zooms through a whole new world. But this stops being the case once we get to the Dreamcast and GameCube era. New to this stage, Modern Sonic comes across these gigantic roulette tables that make me wonder if the age rating for this was affected at all, since haha, gambling bad. To be fair though, who cares? I could look at this all day, it's a perfect addition to this level. Next up, it's Mushroom Kingdom Zone. Part of a balanced breakfast. This stage is beautiful and I love it. It's one of my all-time favorites in the entire franchise, and seeing this sort of reminds me of that video by Blobvandam that came out like a year before Generations even hit the scene, except this is an actual playable thing, and that one just looks like something I want to play, like really badly. Seriously got me feeling like Wile E. Coyote running into a tunnel with this thing. The modern stages continue to be better than the classic stages though, and I guess that's another thing it has in common with the console version. I especially love this 3D rail grinding section. It's times like this I remember how fantastic some of these early 3DS games looked when you'd flip the 3D setting on for a couple moments. That is, if you could get the head tracking to actually keep working. New 3DS XL is where it's at, homies. Now, can I tell you something else I love about this game? You know how this is a celebration of Sonic's history? Well, there was one special stage that they flat out ignored. That being, why, the special stages, of course. You really should have seen that one coming. Even though Generations 3DS seems to have the easiest special stages in a while, I still appreciate them being here. All you need to do to access them is beat Acts 1 and 2 in a zone, and then select it from the menu. They opted this time to copy and paste Sonic Heroes special stages, complete with a great remix of that familiar track, and thankfully, instead of being ball-bustingly hard, they're cube-repairingly easy. I don't know guys, I'd rather things just be fun than frustrating, you know? Also, them visuals, like dang man. Generations is just really good at taking old things and making them feel fresh and new again. Ring ring, did someone call for Metal Sonic? Because if you didn't, you should've. After the mirror cutscene plays out pretty much like it should, Dr. Robotnik sicks chibi Metal Sonic on us, and instead of a true fight, you just race him through Casino Night Zone. You know, just like you did way back when. There's nothing wrong here at all. And if you're feeling it, ladies and gentlemen, let's all give a big hand for Big Arms. Yeah, the boss fight's actually a little underwhelming. Big Arms felt like a lot more of a threat in the original game, and here it's kind of a cakewalk, but that's what happens when you turn a final boss into a first boss. Yet, somehow the Death Egg robot still felt pretty scary. The Dreamcast era is now upon us, and there are actually only 2 levels. Did I mention that this game clocks in at under 2 hours? But to make up for that, here's goddamn Emerald Coast! When I first played this, I probably got emotional seeing this level pop up. Sonic Adventure is my all-time favorite Sonic game, and Emerald Coast just goes right for the heart with its 1000-degree glowing nostalgia knife. Both acts are now totally unique while referencing parts of the original stage here and there, which means whales, whales, and more whales. Classic Sonic even gets to use the little jump pads towards the end of his section, and it just made my heart swell up all over again. I can almost hear Takal's disembodied voice telling me how to use them. This stage, unfortunately though, is also where Dimps' brand bottomless pits start to pop up again, and they will not be going away. Contrary to this next stage's title, this level is in no way radical. This is the worst level in the entire game, I swear. It's just really claustrophobic, and there are bottomless pits everywhere, and honestly, Radical Highway had a rough transition to 2D. Like, it just wasn't made for this. Like, you know that one section where you jump into, like, the ether, and there's, like, a bunch of wind gusts that blow you up, and then you go to the other side, because you can see the other side of the place, so you know you're safe. Here, you just jump off a platform, and you gotta kind of remember that that's what happens in the level, but it's like, you could be jumping into a pit, and it doesn't really matter. Like, it's just kind of poorly designed. I think 8-Bit Leafeon in my stream chat put it best when they said, "This is the Planet Wisp of Generations 3DS." And let me tell you, that is not a compliment, folks. Dimps must have really known they messed up here, because after a quick rival fight with Shadow, Ha, I bet it really hurt to see that, knowing Shadow will never escape being an assist trophy. Dimps graciously gifted us a gigantic confused lizard. Dude, I love this guy. I am so happy to see him again. And you know what, this fight is even better than the original fight. For starters, you can't just fall into the chicken soup lake by mistake, and your movement options being different, i.e. the boost and slide, also make this encounter a lot snappier than what SA2 had to offer. Now, this Frankenstein of an era confuses me, because there's no real correlation, it's just Water Palace and Tropical Resort. Wait, Water Palace? Water Palace? Just yes, dude, 1,000 times yes. Like, imagine what we could have had if they had gone all in on Sonic Handheld Generations. Like, I can't be the only one thinking that it would have been really cool. Just think about it. Bridge Zone, Gimmick Mountain, Gigalopolis, Meta Junglera, Egg Rocket, Music Plant, Twinkle Snow, Water Palace, Sky Babylon, and Tropical Resort. Man, it could have been amazing. Like, the remixes alone would have made this thing worth doing. If you got a dream roster of zones for Sonic Handheld Generations, let's hear it down in the comments. I want to hear what you guys like. Aside from that quick rant, I don't actually have a lot to say about this stage other than I love it. Even though it's a water level, this is the Sonic water level. No others can compare. Finally, the final stop on our journey, we've got Tropical Resort, and this one also harkens back to its handheld iteration. You got them giant questionable totem poles and the burst wisp, that handy dandy DS exclusive formerly found in Sweet Mountain. Look, I didn't even play Sonic Colors DS when it came out, but this is some prime nostalgia bait right here. Oh look, it's my son! No! Sorry, son! Even though Heroes isn't represented by a level this time, it does get a boss fight in the form of Egg Emperor. Once you learn his patterns, this fight is 50,000 leagues better than the original, and I can prove that with science. You see, the original fight isn't fun at all, and this one is. Thank you, I went to college for this. From there, the cookie crumbles as you'd expect it to. The Sonics get beaten up, transform into their golden forms in a very underwhelming sequence compared to the last few games, and we're off to show that creep the real superpower of teamwork. Yeah! If you've heard anything at all about this game, my best bet is that you heard that the final boss fight is better than the original version, and it definitely is. The characters are much more mobile here, and the attacks come at you with a much better pace, so it's a lot easier to kind of fly through this thing and not be bored to tears like in the console version. I'd also say it's a bit harder because the Eggmen really don't want Modern Sonic to catch up, so there's a lot more unique attacks coming your way. Also, did I mention that there is no, hey, look out, there's a homing shot! Yeah, it's another reason I could say that Dimps really outdid themselves here. The evil has been vanquished. With the Time Eater defeated, the gang gets sent back into the real world, and the classics depart soon after, supposedly creating that split timeline that everyone uses to justify Force's terrible writing. But I mean, too bad they don't say that in any of the games, so it's a headcanon and not actual canon. Modern Sonic and Tails, however, then head off to Sonic's surprise party, where I don't know if they find any of Sonic's friends or not, because, I mean, where were they? I mean, just kidding. They're in that one image at the end. Yeah, that totally doesn't count. Make sure to not skip the credits, though, because if you liked the ending medley in the console one, you're gonna like it here too, because it's a whole different grab bag of songs, because you know it had all new stages. Well, I mean, all except one, of course. So this game isn't legitimately Rush 4, obviously you know that, but it still kind of continues the spirit of what we've been seeing over the last couple months in these videos I've been making. And unfortunately, after this, the 2D Sonic Boost games would sort of fizzle out of existence, and they haven't been seen since, at least at the point of uploading this video. Maybe in the future we'll see something else, but it's kind of like the end of an era. At least we have the memories locked away in our hearts and minds, and of course, in this review series. It's been a blast reviewing all these games, but now we have to move on to the future, and things are looking a bit rocky. The video is over. If you like this video and you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell, follow my Twitter, and join the Discord for more Crash Bandicoot and other things that aren't Crash Bandicoot, because I do a lot of things. See, I do, I promise. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to my supporters, who are Danny Dauber, Mike TGC, Common CJ, Crazy Sean DX, Raiden Still Plays, Chaosk, Ty Little Tech Guy, Jaded Indolent, J Remy, Lucas Tallman, Mega Trafficone, Crystal, and on Patreon we have John the Real Wawa Luigi, along with everyone who's supporting me in the $1 tiers. Thank you guys so much for your support, it really means a lot, and if you have any interest in becoming a supporter yourself, go check out the link up there in the card or in the description to check out my either YouTube support thing or Patreon. Either one works, because if like a ton of you even just do like $1, like that builds up, you know what I'm saying? And $1 is like literally nothing. So anyway, you get like shout outs and your thing on screen, and you also get access to blooper episodes. Whoop-de-doo, doggy-doo, yeah. Alright, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.